Fun fact, I'm not one of those pre-filming people that switch between t-shirts because I just don't have the energy to do that. I work 2 jobs. You guys know I pre-film. This is the time I gotta do it. And this is the shirt that I'm comfortable in doing it in. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Yes, I still sound congested. I'm still sick. I'm still on the same filming day, so that hasn't changed. But I am here today to bring you guys a book review. And I really got distracted because there's a lot of people outside and there's a really cute dog outside. It almost looks like a husky. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, that's so distracting. Today for you guys, I'm going to be reviewing The Book Jumper by Mechthild Glaser. This book was part of my March TBR and is the first book I actually finished. In fact, I finished this book before I even filmed my TBR video. So look at me staying ahead of my Goodreads reading goal. But this was the first book I read this month. I really enjoyed it. I read actually her second release, well, her second English release, The Forgotten Book, actually, before I read The Book Jumper. Now, even though the covers look similar, or the cover styles look similar, the books are actually not a series or a duology. They're just stylized the same, which I'm not going to complain about because I like that they match. But this is a standalone book, just so you guys are aware, and that was just something I wanted to clarify for myself as well when I was looking at these beautifully matching books. The Book Jumper is about young Amy Lennox, who has a very eccentric mother, but she doesn't know what to think when her mother and her start packing up their house in Germany and going to visit their grandmother in Scotland on an island. Annie always knew her family had a bit of the crazy gene, at least that's what her mother told her, and she really gets to know what the crazy gene is when they visit her grandmother in Scotland. While at her grandmother's house, her grandmother insists that while at the Lennox house, Amy must read. Now for Amy, who's a bookworm, this is no problem until she realizes her grandmother does not mean in the traditional sense. She finds out that she is from an ancient family line of book jumpers, which means she gets to jump right into the literary world, and her family, along with another clan, are charged with the protection of the literary world, which sounds really cool to Amy until she realizes that somebody is destroying great literary classics and stealing main ideas. She teams up with handsome Will, and both of them go on this adventure to find out who is stealing from literary works. This book is basically a bibliophile's dream. The ability to jump into your favorite book. I mean, how cool would it be to jump into The Hobbit and go on that road trip with Bilbo and hang out with the dwarves, except for maybe the dragon part. But all of that sounds really cool, except for all the walking. Maybe I'll pick a different book. But the idea of jumping into your favorite book sounds amazing. And Amy and her new friends get to do it. You jump into the story where Amy and her mother are trying to escape some really difficult situations that went on. Amy's been severely emotionally hurt. Her mom has been brokenhearted. So they decide to take a trip and go visit the one place Amy's mother said she would never step foot back in. And that is her original home in Scotland. I really enjoyed the writing of this book and the storytelling aspect of it. Again, it was originally written in German, so the translation of it was really well done. However, I found with both of her books that there's always little plot things or little things that don't feel like they got filled in all the way or that jump really quickly between the two of them. So I found that that's kind of an inconsistency between her books. So that was a little abrasive, but overall the story writing was really well done and the translation was kept really well done as well. The characters were really believable. I really enjoyed them. They had real problems and issues that they were going through, the ways they dealt with them, emotions and reactions to things that, again, were really real and relatable. Sometimes the premise of this book did feel a bit too cheesy for me, but it's the kind of cheese factor that I really like about a book, especially when you're jumping into books and solving a mystery that has to do with literary fiction. I'm here for that kind of cheese, so I enjoyed the cheesy factor of it. The world building was really well done. You really did picture the moors in Scotland on this island and just traipsing all over this place. And especially when you're jumping into other literary worlds, it was really interesting to see how she adapted that into her world building. There is one thing though that kind of bothered me about the ending, is that there's too many questions left. It almost seemed like a convenient ending, but it just ended one stream of all the issues, and there's too many other things left unanswered. Did this happen? How did this situation get solved? What does this mean? Is this how this is supposed to end? You didn't really have a defined ending or a clear understanding of what the characters decided at the end for a certain situation, as well as a lot of unanswered things for the other situations. That was just like, okay, so I guess all the other characters are okay with this, but we didn't solve any of the other issues. So it was interesting. You didn't really get the perspective of the reaction to the other characters, especially the ones that these events directly affected. So you didn't get any of their reactions, you just got Amy and Will's. So the ending was a bit abrasive for me and a bit just unanswered, trying to be a convenient ending but just not answering any of my questions. I do want to give a heads up on content though. Again, most of this was pretty clean. There is some murders and death involved, so there's a couple of deaths and some violence in there. The other thing though is swearing as well, so you get again some very mild swearing and also some British slang that is also kind of inappropriate / swearing. So you do get some inappropriate language in there. Not nearly as much though that I noticed in her other book, The Forgotten Book. There wasn't as much swearing in that one, in this one, as there was in that one. Overall, I believe I gave this book a 4-star rating. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was a book I was here for. It was cheesy, it had a mystery, it had jumping into literary fiction, you had fictional characters and book lovers, and you just had people that really appreciated literature, and I like anything book-related stories, so I really enjoyed this one. I do recommend this book. It was really enjoyable. The only thing I'd give a heads up about is the language. But other than that, even the magic wasn't, I don't think there was magic unless it was the literary magic from the books that you read, and the idea of jumping into the book was really the only magic that was involved in that. But like I always say with my reviews, if you had any questions about anything that you have concerns about for this, you can leave those questions down below and I'll answer them without spoiling the book for you as best as I can. So let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns that come up. Also, let me know in the comments below if you have picked up the book jumper or if you're going to pick up the book jumper and what you guys thought about it yourselves. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!